culture is a term that was coined by feminists in the United States in the 1970s. This term was designed to show the ways in which society blamed victims of sexual assault and normalized male sexual violence. Rape culture refers to a culture in which attitudes about rape are tolerant enough to be an enabling factor in anything ranging from sexual harassment to rape. Desensitization surrounding rape and sexual abuse furthers the perpetuation of a culture of violence and rape, in which the sexual objectification and dominance of women is the norm, and we need to take action to move toward correcting this major issue. Rape is disturbingly common. Sexual violence affects millions of Americans. According to RAINN.org, every 2 minutes an American is sexually assaulted. As of 1998, 2.78 million men in the U.S. had been victims of attempted or completed rape. 1 out of every 10 rape victims are male. On average, there are 288,820 victims aged 12 or older of rape and sexual assault each year in the United States. According to RAINN.org, as of 1998, an estimated 17.7 million American women had been victims of attempted or completed rape. 82% of all juvenile victims are female, and 90% of adult victims are female. Females ages 16 to 19 are 4 times more likely than the general population to be victims of rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault. There are many short-term and long-term effects of sexual assault and rape that affect the mind and body. There is a higher rate of drug use among victims. Victims report contemplating suicide. It is common for a survivor of sexual violence to experience an array of feelings that may be confusing and can create more anxiety, such as anger, distrust, and feeling unsafe. Approximately 70% of rape and sexual assault victims experience moderate to severe distress, a larger percentage than for any other violent crime. They also experience PTSD. 94% of the women who are raped experience PTSD symptoms 2 weeks following the rape, and 30% experience it 9 months afterwards. Now that I have gone over the statistics of sexual assault and how it affects the victims of it, I will proceed to talk about the normalization of it in our culture. How everyday sexual assault, rape, and general violence is ignored, trivialized, normalized, or made into jokes. Objectification, the treatment of human beings as commodities, is the foundation of rape culture. Objectification involves placing supreme importance on individual physical attributes of people while discounting or ignoring other elements of their identities. When a woman is objectified, she becomes a commodity, something to be bought, bartered, traded, and sold in a sexual marketplace. Rape culture is present in television, news media, movies, the music we listen to, and the videos that go along with it. On August 11, 2011, in Steubenville, Ohio, a 16-year-old girl incapacitated by alcohol was gang raped by 2 high school football players who then shared photos of the assault on their social media sites with their friends. The mainstream news media immediately blamed the victim, saying it was her fault for choosing to get so intoxicated. When the verdict came out, both perpetrators were charged as delinquents and given the minimum sentences. One received 1 year and the other 2 years. Many media outlets reacted to the verdict with sympathy for the rapist instead of the victim. Rape culture is pop music that tells women you know you want it because of these blurred lines of consent. It is people who believe that girls allow themselves to be raped. Rape culture is Reddit threads with titles like "You have to make sure she's dead," when linking to the story of a 13-year-old girl in Pakistan being raped and buried alive. It is women feeling less safe walking the streets at night than men do, and the fact that only 3% of rapists ever serve a day in jail. Now that I have gone over how America is still so desensitized and normalized to the idea of rape, I will go over how things could get better for our culture in the future. Lobby your community. Rape culture thrives in passive acceptance of female degradation, victim blaming, and hypermasculinity in our communities, both physical and digital. Report abuse on Facebook. Lobby college administrators for more safe spaces to discuss sexual assault on campus. 1 in 5 women are assaulted during their college years, yet many colleges don't have a competent system for reporting incidences and punishing perpetrators. Name the real problems. Violent masculinity and victim blaming. According to TheNation.com, These are the cornerstones of rape culture, and they go hand in hand. The right question is not, what was she doing, wearing, or saying when she was raped? The right question is, what made him think this is acceptable? Sexual violence is a pervasive problem that cannot be solved by analyzing in an individual situation. Know your history. For those of us who live here in the U.S., we must acknowledge and learn from the U.S.'s long history of state-sanctioned violence. Consider the genocide of Native and First Nations people, the ever-present legacy of slavery, and the gendered nature of all of this. The perpetuation of rape culture is more harmful than you might imagine. Rape is a very real issue in our society today, and needs to be treated as such. Millions of people have been affected by it, not just direct victims, but their loved ones as well. Normalizing rape normalizes the trials that these people go through. Joking about it makes light of their situation, and justifying it tells rapists that they are not committing a crime when they violate the body and dignity of someone who is not asking for it. Because no one asked to be raped, and no one deserves to be raped, and until we as a society start teaching this to our children, we will not learn better.